standing at the front of your mat. Breathing in, lift your arms. Breathing out, fold forward. Breathing in, lift so you have a straight back. Breathing out, hands to the floor, step back and lower to the floor. Breathing in, push up a little bit. Breathing out, push back into child's pose. And just use this time to just get in touch with your breath. Become aware of the speed of your breath. When you do these videos, you're kind of restricted to my pace, but when you do your own practice, you need to follow your own breath speed. You want 5 breaths here. Breathing in, come up over your hands. Breathing out, lower down. Breathing in, push up, little baby cobra. Breathing out once more to child's pose. Try and get your buttocks down onto your feet. Keep your arms active, fingers pointing forward. Once again, breathing in, move over your hands. Breathing out, lower down. Breathing in, push up, maybe a little bit further this time, lifting your hips if you want. And breathing out, tuck your toes under and come to downward facing dog. And walk your knees, bend your knees, whatever feels comfortable here. First one of the day probably. Just scan your body to see where the tensions are today. And then looking between your hands, walking between your hands, flat back, breathing out, fold forward, breathing in, arms up, hands touch, breathing out, hands to the side. Breathing in, arms up, breathing out, fold forward, breathe in, flat back, breathe out, step back, lower to the ground or to chaturanga, keeping your body just off the floor. Breathing in, upward facing dog, breathing out, downward facing dog. And bring your feet in a little bit if that feels better. It does for me. So here, working your heels downwards towards the floor, and if your heels are on the floor, activate your toes, maybe lift your toes. And then activate above your knees, your thighs. Look between your hands now, step forward, flat back. Breathe out, fold forward, breathe in, arms up, hands touch. Breathe out, hands to the side. One more, I think. Arms up, hands touch. Fold forward, hands to the ground. Lift flat back and hands to the ground, step back, other leg first. Down to crocodile, upward facing dog. Breathing out to downward facing dog. And with your upper half of your body, keep your fingers actively pressing down, even drawing the heels of your hands towards your feet. And you want to twist your upper arm to hide your armpits from me, and twist your upper arm, your forearms, the other way. It's a slightly strange concept. And now we're already arms up, hands touch. Sorry if you're not watching. And hands down. Now, B, bend your knees, lift your arms, chair pose. Exhale, fold forward. Breathe in, flat back. Breathe out, step back, lower down. Breathing in, upward facing dog. Breathing out, downward facing dog. Pivot your left foot, step forward with your right. Raise your arms, try and keep your front leg at 90 degrees. Breathe out, hands down, step back, lower down. Breathing in, upward facing dog. Breathing out, downward facing dog. Pivot your right foot, step forward with your left. Breathing in, arms up, hands touch. Breathing out, hands down, step back, lower to the ground. Breathing in, upward facing dog. Breathing out, downward facing dog. This is where we start to build a bit of heat in the body. Try and keep soft in your shoulders, keep your shoulders away from your ears. Keep your shoulder blades down the back. You want a straight back, looking between your hands, stepping forward, flat back, breathing out, fold forward, bend your knees, breathe in, arms up, straighten your legs, breathe out. Breathe in, bend your legs, hands touch, breathe out, fold forward, flat back, hands down, jump or step back, chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Pivot with your left foot, step forward with your right, breathing in, hands touch, breathing out to the floor, hands to the floor, breathing in, upward facing dog, breathing out, downward facing dog. Step forward with your left, breathing in, hands touch, breathing out, hands to the floor, step back, lower down, breathing in, upward facing dog, breathing out, downward facing dog, and breathe. Look between your hands. Step or jump forward. Bend your knees. Lift your arms. Hands touch. Hands to the side. One more. Bend your knees. Arms up. Hands touch. Breathe out. Fold forward. Breathe in. Look up. Breathe out. Step or jump back. Lower to the ground. Breathe in. Upward facing dog. Breathe out, downward facing dog. Pivot your left foot, step forward with your right. Breathe in, hands up. Breathe out, hands either side of your foot. Step back, lower to the ground. Breathe in, upward facing dog. Breathe out, downward facing dog. Pivot and step forward with your left foot. Breathing in, hands touch. Breathing out, step back, lower to the ground. Breathing in, upward facing dog. Breathing out, downward facing dog. And now with your feet hip distance apart, put your hands to your hips, breathe in, look up, breathe out, fold forward. You can have your hands on your knees, or you can try and get your first two fingers around your big toes, and breathe in with a straight back to make yourself longer. Breathe out, fold forward, pulling your elbows out to the side, just to lever yourself down a bit further. With every exhalation, just try and bend a little further. And then on an inhale, flat back, exhale, hands to your hips, inhale, come up to standing. Now we're going to do Trikonasana. So step forward, right foot 180 degrees out, left foot 45 degrees in as an anchor. Put your arms out parallel to the floor, move forward with your right hand and tilt over as though you've got your back against a wall. You want to keep your left hip back and your right shoulder back. Eventually, you want your right hand towards your foot. But the important thing is to keep a plane, as though you're against a wall. Keep your shoulders open. And breathing in, come up and pivot to the other side. So this time, left foot 180 degrees out, right foot 45 degrees in, and breathing out, tip over with your left arm. Try and keep your arms in a straight line, looking up if you can to your right thumb. breathing all the time, keeping your hip open, this time your right hip open. Looking down before you come up, that helps your balance. And pivot back to how you were the first time with your feet. And point your hips to the front of your mat. Now we're doing a twist here, so with your right hand, left hand over your right foot, of your right leg. Just use it to slightly twist yourself. If the final posture is to lift your right arm up and look towards your right thumb, but just go where you can. You're just doing a gentle twist here. The important thing is try and keep your hips level, pointing to the front of your mat, and come back, go to the other side and do the other side. So twist over your front leg with the opposite hand, and just use that as a lever to give yourself a twist. If you can get the hand to the ground, that's the final goal, but that took me quite a while. And then open your chest, again keeping your hips level. It's a tricky one if you're new to it. It's a lot of things like balance to think about. And look down before you come in, up, breathing in, come up. And now we're going to take a wider stance, the whole leg's length width. Again, pivot your right foot out 180 degrees, pivot your left foot in just a bit. And then ground them both. You're going to bend your front leg 45 degrees. Sorry, your front leg should be 90 degrees, like when you do a warrior. And put your right elbow on your right knee, and you want a straight line between your back foot and your left hand. So if you can get your hand to the ground, you can use that. That will help to lever you. Open your chest, looking upwards towards the ceiling if you can. With every exhalation, just open your chest. Coming up, pivot to the other side. So deep lunge now in your left leg, 90 degrees, excuse me. And you want a straight line from your back foot all the way up to your hand. It should be alongside your ear. Breathing all the while, looking up. On an inhalation, maybe lower a bit lower in your hips. On an exhalation, and that's already time to come up. Be careful coming up. And now we're just going to do little back bends. Put your hands on your hips, ground your heels, and breathing in, just looking back, looking up at the ceiling, supporting your lower back. And just with every exhalation, just go a little bit further back. And then gradually come up slowly so you don't get dizzy, and just hang forward like a rag doll. If you want to grab your elbows, that feels nice. And we'll do it once more. Hands on your lower back. Breathing in, lower your shoulders down. Make yourself as tall as you possibly can, and just look up at the ceiling. Open your chest. Keeping your legs really strong and active. And again, counterbalance, just counter stretch rather, just fold forward. And then bring yourself to the floor for a good 2 minutes relaxation. Just let every muscle relax.